Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. How are we all doing? All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living God. Please, folks, understand that duality exists. You have one God that's saying that he's alone and by himself and that there are no other gods beside him. You're not to put any gods beside him. And then you have this plane of existence where there's plural of gods. There's many gods. The gods that Jesus had said to us. Is it not written in your law that I have said ye are gods? The very first commandment would imply that there are other gods. Do not place any other gods beside me. So it's us, but we're fallen. There was a unity, something attached, everything in complete union, one mind. A fracture takes place. The Supreme Spirit wants to create and teach good and evil. How's he going to teach good and evil? He's got to put you in a plane of existence where both good and evil exist. Now, I believe at one time in our lives, everybody that does anything are all guilty of being sinful and learning. This is a learn. You don't just come into this plane of existence knowing everything. You have to go through some trials to understand. You have to be educated from your parents. I would say educated from the education system, but simply that's a shit show there, folks. Okay, they're the three biggest lies that I could tell you on the face of the earth that have ever been told to us is that we've been to the moon, that the earth is a spherical globe, and that Jesus Christ is God. I teach you here at this channel here, and if you stick around long enough, you'll see that I clearly prove my case, okay, that the gods of these Bibles are not the supreme living God. You see, one God pours out his love, compassion, tenderness, patience, and loves you sincerely, deeply, with all his heart. But what he's done is he's given you a choice to serve him. You can serve him or you can serve your flesh. And I served my flesh. And I learned what it meant between the spirit and the flesh. Okay, so I hope you stick around with this channel. I picked up a couple new subscribers. I've lost more subscribers than the subscribers that I have on my channel. I'll just put it out there. So we're here at Deuteronomy chapter 12, the one place of worship. These are the decrees and laws you must be careful to follow in the land of the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you to possess as long as you live in the land. Okay, when I think of ancestors for Israel, I think Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham. And I have a problem with this story too. I have a problem with the God that told Abraham to lay Isaac up on this altar, and I have problem with a father that would lay his son up on an altar, a God that would give a command to kill your son, and then I don't know what you'd call it. Now you have to make a choice here. Is this story really true? Did an Israelite man of God, the true man of God, take his son and lay him up on an altar? And I ask you then, Israel, who's talking to you? This is a man. Now, we all worship the Spirit here in this channel, okay? We don't worship any man. And all the men of this Bible are considering themselves gods, okay? Has given you to possess as long as you live in the land. Destroy completely all the places on the high mountains, on the hills, and under every spreading tree, where the nations you are dispossessing worship their gods. So, they're gods. And this is a trickery too, folks, because what you got to understand is it's us, okay? We're not supposed to be down here giving praise and glory and worship to stars, Hollywood stars, rock stars, porn stars, generals who wear stars, politicians, governors, presidents, all that stuff. When you worship these demons, then you have these demons that are on you. Okay? You must understand that it is us that are idols. Here, let me show you what I mean. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, Bible Hub. You know, the most important thing to understand in the creation story here is that this man that's created on the sixth day has everything to do with Revelations 13:18, which says, here's a call for wisdom. Let the one with insight calculate the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. That parable has everything to do with the sixth day of creation. Beasts were created on the sixth day of creation. And then this God, so God created man in his own image. So this God created him right here, created himself. Okay, this God created himself, a male and a female. This is called Genesis Parthenos. Okay, it's something that created itself, a male and female. This God, which is Elohim, okay, plural of Eloah, gods in the ordinary sense, but specifically used. This God here is used of a supreme. This God here, the living, is one God. This God here in this plane of existence is the Trinity God, Elohim. Elohim means plural, which means many gods. And then you have the word man in the word many. And this is the many gods. And it is these many gods that's an idol. This God that created a man created himself. This God created himself, a man, in an image, and an image is a phantom is a ghost is a spirit of the dead, and this man, this God, is an illusion. He's performing magic tricks. He's a magic man that performs tricks. Could very well be a female, a male and female, performing illusions for you. So he's a magic man, and what this magic man does is he's performing tricks. So notice when he's saying a bag of tricks, watch. This woman is in a silhouette all by herself in darkness, and then when he says tricks, she lights up. And because Satan, what did he say? He said that he'd use women, money, and power to cause corruption in mankind. So you got to fall away from the material world. Also, what I think helps to understand gods is understanding the definition of God. You got to understand that the plural of God are all different gods and stuff and have different names. But this God here, Elohim, the Lord, is Yahweh. God here is Elohim. And the nations that are being dispossessing have served their gods. And this God here is 430 and also Elohim. 430 though. It's all underneath the 430. Eloheka, Elohim, Elokai, all of these Elohim are all multiple gods. So you have a lowercase God here that represents 430 of the Strong's Concordance, and the lowercase God is also a plural of Eloah, gods in the ordinary sense, but again, used. So we are everything to the glory of the Spirit of truth, are used. We are simply vessels for a supreme spirit sitting at a chessboard playing a game of chess with himself between good and evil. Just like you are you and I am me, we feel individuals of one another, but divinely we are all interconnected, all of us. Both good and evil are intertwined with one another. You can't have one without the other. It's just that easy. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and burn their Asherah poles in the fire. Cut down the idols of their gods and wipe out their names from those places. Let's take a look here. Images of idols that are gods. There you go. So anything that's an image of God, perhaps, even here, you idolize this man, right? Images of the Vatican Auditorium Hall. You worship the Pope. You put the Pope above you. Okay? I bring you these pictures because I need you to understand what's going on. They're putting the truth straight right in front of you. I've never seen this video. Folks, look at that. There's Pope Francis, and that is the Sea of the Dead. There's your serpent eye on the left, serpent eye on the right. The way they've done the auditorium, it looks like scales. Okay? So he takes his seat. And let's see if we get give me 1 second. So here we are, look. Now, to me, this looks like a bunch of dead souls, all right? Okay, and these are two jakesters. The jakesters, the Pope, two cardinals on each side. Here's Jesus coming, what? He's ascending from below. Why don't they have this here idol worship, this carving, this engraven image here? Why wouldn't you have it like hanging from the ceiling where Jesus is coming down from heaven? Why do they have Jesus coming up from a pit? Because these are all dead souls, folks. This is Jesus's face up front here, but when you see his hair flowing in the wind here, that there is a serpent. Let me see if I can find us a better picture. Oh, I'm sorry. Damn it, I hate it when I do that. Sorry about that. But look, this is Jesus's face here, but his hair is flowing, and that's a serpent. And it's telling you right there that Jesus is both the serpent. Jesus is the Christ and the Antichrist. Jesus is the two-faced God. Telling you straight up. Oh, don't run. Let me prove it. Okay, don't run from my lessons. Okay, if you're not reading the Bible and you're listening to Christian ministers, you are getting the wrong information about your God, Jesus. Okay? This God, Jesus, this is the Catholic Church. If you can't see that that is a serpent and those are fangs and that those are eyes and that's Catholics, you just love your sin, man. You just love this guy. You think that mankind can save you, and mankind can't save shit. They can't save anything. Mankind are the destroyers of nations.
The world is a vampire sent to drain. Secret destroyer, hold you up to the flames.
You see right here, bro, fans, ladies, gents, this is the secret destroyers. You get it? The nations are the secret destroyers. Okay, any nation that sits at the United Nations is a nation, a Gentile nation. You got to understand that. Okay? They're gods, and wipe out their names from those places. Well, what gods have a name? The Hindu God, the Buddha God, Jesus Christ God, Jesuit God. They're all worshiping what? Jesus. Jesus. Look at how Jesus is spelt and how it's pronounced here in English. But how's it pronounced in Spanish? It's pronounced Jesus. Jesus is hell Zeus. You are hailing Zeus, and Zeus is the god of electricity. Images of Zeus holding a lightning bolt. This is it right here. Zeus. Zeus is lightning image. Okay? Jesus. Jesus. Nobody's going to break it down for you what's being said in this Bible, okay? You must study this Bible and show yourself approved, folks. That's all there is to it. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way. But you are to seek the place the Lord your God will choose from among all your tribes to put his name there for his dwelling. To that place you must go. There bring your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithings and special gifts, what you have vowed to give, and your free will offerings, and the firstborn of your herds and flocks. There, in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your families shall eat and shall rejoice in everything you have put your hand to, because the Lord your God has blessed you. So clearly we have two different gods that are going on here. The Lord your God here. See, let's go Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 7 Bible Hub. So I'm teaching you that Lord here is separate. Okay, the definition for Lord is 3068. The Lord's name is Yahweh, and it's the proper name of God of Israel. Okay, but you talk to a lot of true Hebrew Israelites, they don't worship the Lord. Rap the News, the guy that I listen to, when he read from the scriptures, he didn't call it the Lord. He changed it with Most High, Mighty High. There in the presence of the Most High, your God. Because the Lord here, Yahweh, is a man. Okay? And Yahweh being a man can't be spirit. Anything that's in the flesh is not the spirit. You are spiritual beings in first before you ate from that apple. And then when you ate from that apple, you became dead just like us. God said that you will surely die that day if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And here again is Elohim or Elohim, another 430. So I'm showing you the different names, but they all follow underneath of El. El is the god of electricity. This is why they call themselves the elite and the elected and the elevated. The El, God El, the supreme, the almighty, the one. But I don't even call God El. Okay? I don't know the Spirit's name. There's too many names here. If there's multiple names, then you need to question when God says you're not to invoke the names of other gods or have them heard across your lips. So you have two different meanings between Lord, God, lowercase gods, Lord. They all have different meanings. Okay, you are not to do as we do here today. Everyone doing as they see fit, since you have not yet reached the resting place and the inheritance the Lord your God is giving you. Well, how many years now has it you've been marching around in the middle of the desert? Your Lord, your God. Here, pack up, move, pack up, move, pack up, move for 40 years. Sounds like a very pleasant God to be following. Wandering you around in the desert. Could it be that when Israel ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, when Adam ate from that tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the Supreme Spirit, one God, saying that I will not contend with man, for their days will be 120, and then you have this Lord here. Well, who did you follow? You followed the words of that man that came inside of the garden and coaxed you into eating that fruit, and then your wife conned you. As we've been told, the wife conned you into eating. So this lays all liability. It almost sounds like a blame shift, huh? But my wife, she's the one that handed it to me. No, That's a cop-out if you ask me. Adam ate for the apple because he loved his wife, not because he was pointing his finger at her and saying she did all this. I think that's a garbage story, okay? He loved that woman so much that when she handed it to him, she knew that it was against God, but he did it for the love of the woman that he was with and for no other reason. Why would he turn his back on God? There's no other reason than for love. Adam had to have loved his wife so much. That's the only understandable reason to me that would make any sense why Adam would take from that because that's how easy it is when you're in love that a woman can bring you down. It's that simple. I say it all the time, man. The richest man can be brought down by the most gorgeous women. They're vampires. But you will cross the Jordan and settle in the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, and he will give you the rest from all your enemies around you, so that you will live in safety. Is Israel living in safety today? Folks, you got to start questioning what's saying in the side of this Bible. This is supposed to be an everlasting covenant that's taking place between Israel and the Spirit of God. Well, not the supreme Spirit of God. It couldn't possibly be. You've got a God that's marching around the desert. You know, he's leaving you roasting. He's moving you. How can you, after all these years past, how could anybody possibly know where their roots lie? Except those that know where their roots lie. Okay, then to place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name. There you are to bring everything I command you, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithings and special gifts, and all the choice possessions you have vowed to the Lord. And there rejoice before the Lord your God, you, your sons, your daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites from your towns who have no allotment or inheritance of their own. Be careful not to sacrifice your burnt offerings anywhere you please. Offer them only at the place the Lord will choose in one of your tribes, and there observe everything I command you. So is this Lord here today commanding you? Are you offering these offerings today? Is this taking place somewhere in the world that we don't know about? Sacrifice and blood offerings? If they are, what country, what providence? Nonetheless, you may slaughter your animals in any of your towns and eat as much of the meat as you want, as if it were gazelle or deer, according to the blessing of the Lord your God gives you. Both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat it, but you must not eat the blood. Pour it out on the ground like water. You must not eat in your own town the tithing of your grain and new wine and olive oil, or the firstborn of your herd and flock, or whatever you have vowed to give, or your free will offering or special gift. Instead, also these free will offerings, you're freely giving away your possessions to a priest. I'm telling you, Israel, worry about you. Take care of you. The relationship in life is between you and God. Stop putting priests in front of you to worship your supreme creator. You guys are all equal. You understand? I know that there's a pecking order on this plane of existence, but once you understand that you are a true spirit of the supreme living God, then you are one with that spirit. You're not in a world of many gods, okay? You're serving the truth, which is vital for your salvation. Okay, daughters and males, and you rejoice in the Lord your God, and everything you put into your hand. Put your hand to. Be careful not to neglect the Levites as long as you live in your land. When the Lord your God, the Lord, 3068, Yahweh, your God, Elohim, the Lord Elohim, has enlarged your territory as he promised you, and you crave meat and say, I would like some meat, then you may eat as much of it as you want. That wasn't the case in the garden, huh? So, when we're in the garden, it's all God. You understand that the first part of the creation story is, in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Okay? That is not the same as the living God. It was something that was permitted and given permission to create the world. The reason why God El is of electricity is because this world is of centropy, and centropy is the electrification of this materialized world. Okay? When the Lord your God has enlarged your territories as he promised you, and you crave meat and say, I would like some meat, then you may eat as much of it as you want. If the place where the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far away from you, you may slaughter animals from the herds and flocks, and the Lord has given you as I have commanded you, and in your own towns you may eat as much of them as you want. Now, what's really odd about this is, don't you notice that the shepherd, and these are the people that lead the flocks, and the very shepherd that tends to the flock is the one that sacrifices the flock. The shepherd's the one that slaughters his flock. Are you not putting that together? Huh? The shepherd is the one that slaughters his flock. It's right there in front of your face. I just read it for you. Okay, so this is a metaphor when it says that the shepherds tend to the flocks, because in the very end, what does the shepherd do? It makes a meal of the flock. Your priests, from what this Bible are saying, are no better than the Gentile in the worship of their gods. You worship gods. You made an Ark of the Covenant. That's a graven image. You make all these things. You bow down before them. Yeah. So you might consider and take a deep look about the men that you once worshipped on this plane of existence. Like I said, I wouldn't lay... If a voice in my head said to kill my kid, number one, I wouldn't listen to that fucking voice. I'd just have to know that the spirit that I am, that's not coming from me. That's channeling from someplace dark, right? And even worse, to think that I'd take my child and place it up on the altar and do that. Okay, both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat, but be sure you do not eat the blood, because the blood is the life, and you must not eat the life with the meat. You must not eat the blood. Pour it out on the ground like water. Do not eat it, so that you may go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is right in the eyes of the Lord. But take your consecrated things and whatever you have vowed to give, and go to the place of the Lord will choose. Present your burnt offerings on the altar of the Lord your God, both the meat and the blood. The blood of your sacrifice must be poured beside the altar of the Lord your God, but you may eat the meat. Be careful to obey all these regulations I am giving you, so that it may always go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is good and right in the eyes of the Lord your God. You know, look, isn't it funny how it went from one simple command, do not touch the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That one simple command is what was given. And then when the tree was eaten from, then what happened? More laws came into effect. Then you had 10 commandments. And then what happened? And then you had 613 commandments. And then what happened? A New Testament was written. And then you had another 1,050 commandments. And then what happened? And then these people that think that they're gods, the government that calls themselves gods, have over 600 million fucking laws on the books. Okay? I just live by the 10 commandments. That's it. I don't stress out on all the other laws of Yahweh, or all the other laws of Jesus, or all the laws of Buddha and anybody else, or any other things. I simply worship the Spirit of truth, what I cannot see. John 4:24 says God is spirit, and you are to worship him in spirit and truth. The Lord your God will cut off before you the nations you are about to invade and dispossess. Again, you are slaughtering people. This Lord here is the same Lord that came off the ark when Noah and the family came off the ark. The first thing the Lord said to you is that by man's hands be shed. If by man's hands you shed another's blood, then by your blood another man shall shed your blood. Something close to that. That was terrible, but that's pretty close. In other words, if you shed a man's blood, then your blood will be shed by another man's blood. It's that simple. So he's sending you in to the Lord, your God, here, Deuteronomy 12:29. Deuteronomy 12:29, Bible Hub. Okay, the Lord again, Yahweh. Okay, Yahweh is a man, folks, and I don't worship anything that's a man. I prove what I say with the scriptures. Exodus 15:3, Bible Hub. The Lord is a warrior. Okay, you can't be a warrior if you're nothing but pour out love. You understand that the warrior is a two-faced God. Okay, all these definitions, the Lord, and then we drop down here, you have Lord Jehovah, the mighty man. So Jehovah is a man, and then you have Yahweh is a man. So both Jehovah and Yahweh are man. Jesus is a man. Isaac, Jacob, Abraham, all men. Noah, men. You see what I'm leading? And the Spirit, the Supreme Spirit, is telling us not to worship men. Okay? So anything that is a man, I don't put before the Supreme Spirit of truth. It's just that simple. And also here, the God, sorry, I meant to touch this again, Elohika. Elohika also is gods in the ordinary sense. Notice that everything, all the angels, Michael, San Raphael, Uriel, Remiel, all of these, all L, all the angels, okay? Because we're the ones that fell away from God. We're the angels that fell away from God, but we're not angels. Not in the sights of the supreme living God. We're the God of the dead. We are the walking dead. You must understand that. Cut off before you the nations. And again, the nations are the Gentile nations. They're also a troop of animals or a flight of locusts. These are metaphors. Images of troops marching in ranks. Right here, man. These are your beast nations. These are your troop of animals. These are your flights of locusts. These are the destroyers of nations.
Secret destroyers.
So, by following the Supreme Spirit, I guess you would say, then he gives you power to dispossess the nations, the Gentile nations, which are numbered more than you, which have more than you. I don't even know if that's necessarily true today, if there was an awakening of God's children around the world, because the white man's been killing their own kids, committing abortions, murdering each other in the streets. They're breeding vampire children spun out on drug babies and stuff. These are not children of God. You understand? God created something crooked on the sixth day of creation, so you must understand that. But when you have driven them out and settled in their land, so I'm always wondering, why would the Spirit of God take you in a city where evil is? Why would he want to give you a stained, sinful land where murder and death has all been taking place? Why wouldn't he give you a beautiful land of your own? Because I'm telling you that when the nations were created, they were created at all ends of the earth. Okay? Isaiah chapter 16, verse 19, Bible Hub. Isaiah chapter 16, verse 19, Bible Hub. I didn't say 1916. I said 1619. Don't they just hate the truth? Isaiah 16. Why did it do that? Come on. 16, 19. Isaiah 16. Oh, it must be Jeremiah 16:19 then. I could be wrong. Jeremiah 16:19 Bible Hub. Give me 1 second. Boy, I'm telling you, they're messing with my voice commands. Took me a while to get to this. I eventually had to type it out. O Lord, again Yahweh, okay? Proper name of God of Israel, okay? My strength and fortress, my refuge in the day of distress. The nations once again will come to you. The nations once again. Here, Gentiles, also a troop of animals or a flight of locusts. So what are the animals? Troop of animals. The troop of animals are those that are created in Genesis 1:25. Genesis chapter 1 verse 25 Bible Hub. God makes the beasts. See, the beasts of the earth are the United Nations. It's a hidden parable right in front of your face. God made the United Nations of the earth according to their kinds. Americans, Germans, Italians, Greeks, South Koreans, North Koreans, Chinese, Japanese, Canadians, Australians, anyone, Ukraine, Israel, anyone who sits at the United Nations is a beast nation. They are the beast nations. You got to wake up from the delusion that you're living in. The gods of this Bible are not the Supreme Spirit. The Supreme Spirit of God has been removed from this Bible, and it's been infiltrated with other gods. Okay? And after they have been destroyed before you, be careful not to be ensnared by inquiring about their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? We will do the same. See, so why would you take them in? Because, look, if you're not around the evil, then how's God going to teach you? That's the only suitable answer that I could think of, is that if you're just off in a pasture, everybody was just loving, so clearly somebody's teaching you war here. This is a warrior that's teaching you. And the God that pours out love, the Supreme Spirit, says, hey, if you want this plane of existence, you want this world, so be it. Have at it. It's yours. You can have it. Okay? And those that love the world are what? At enmity with God. So you must not worship the Lord your God in their way, because in worshiping their gods, they do all kinds of detestable things to the Lord hates, like placing names beside the Supreme Spirit of truth. They even burn their sons and daughters in the fires as sacrifices to their gods. So, folks, is somebody ignoring how deep and dark that is that I just read to you? Gentile burn their own children, and to this day, I guarantee you, they're doing it. You know, when Jesus says here, Revelations chapter 1, verse 18, Bible Hub, the living one. Do not be afraid, Jesus said. I am the first and the last, firstborn, last supper, the living one. I was dead, and behold, now I am alive, spiritually walking dead forever and ever, and I hold the keys to death and Hades. Jesus holds the keys to death and Hades. Why doesn't Jesus hold the keys to life and Hades? Because Hades is death. Okay, Hades is the underworld. Hades is a place for departed souls. Okay, so not just departed souls, souls that didn't figure it out, souls that worshiped other gods, souls that worship Jesus. He's the one that holds the keys to death and Hades. Where's the keyhole? Images of the Vatican Square Court. Right there, man. That's your key. That's a keyhole, folks. I've been wanting them to do an overshot of that for a long time. That is a keyhole. I absolutely know. I don't think or believe or any of that shit. I know absolutely that this is the keyhole to death in Hades. All right? What else is the key? Images of crosses on a chain. Images of crosses on a chain. There's your key. That's the key to death and Hades right there for you, folks. You understand? images with people wearing a cross around their neck. There you go. There's your death. You wear that cross around your neck. You give praise to this whittled piece of gold, praise to anything like that. That is the dead. Jesus Christ died on the cross. He gave up the ghost. You guys are being baptized in the death. Romans chapter 6, verse 3, Bible Hub. Or aren't you aware that all of us who were baptized in Christ Jesus were baptized into his death? Why aren't you baptized into Jesus' life, the resurrection of his life? And how about that man that was on the cross next to Jesus? Jesus promised him that you'll be with me that day in paradise, didn't he? How could that man be with Jesus that day in paradise if Jesus went to hell with the sins of the world on his shoulders for 3 days? Did he tell him, oh, you just hang out here for a few days. I'll be back through, man. I'll pick you up. Hang in there. Hang tight. I know you're in a lot of pain, but I got your back. I'm coming through. I'm going to return. Oh, yeah. You guys love the fantasy story, don't you? We will do the same. Okay, so do not burn their daughters in fires and sacrifice to the gods. See that you do all I command you. Do not add to or take away from it. Do not add to or take away from the word that the commandments of the Lord your God has given you. The supreme spirit of truth, what he is giving you. Don't turn from them and don't start worshiping pagan idols. Images of pagan idols. Okay, folks, there you go. So all these this is all just carvings and stuff out of stone. Okay? You ain't supposed to be carving these types of things and bowing down and making these things your God. Okay? Anyways, I'm going to cut out. I hope you all have a beautiful day. This is White Raptor News Ministries. Peace.